So Miss Nicole Badger was counted dead. She was given 4 days to live. She had stage 4 lymphoma, Hodgkin's lymphoma cancer.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes, and she was counted dead. But God being so good, 12 years later, she's here to tell her story. Hopefully her story will inspire us to move on higher and do better. So Miss Nicole is here and she is looking very colorful.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
So, thank you for making time for us.
Oh, thank you for making the time. I really appreciate that.
Okay, so we're going to talk about your journey with Hodgkin's lymphoma cancer. So what was your life like before you got the diagnosis?
Wow. I actually had a pretty good life. You know, I was just writing songs just for fun. My mom was a songwriter, a producer, a promoter. My dad was a songwriter and a singer. And I was just having a normal life, having fun, you know, and I just graduated high school in 2003. So I was just in a process of taking a year off because my mom was like, take a year off, you did great. So just don't look for no job. And I cried about it too, by the way. I was like, what, a year off? She was like, yeah, because I just wanted a government job. So it was just pretty much fun. I felt healthy, everything was healthy, everything was good. Just enjoying life as an 18, 19-year-old can.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Okay. So I'm sure some people don't even know what Hodgkin's lymphoma cancer is. So would you be able to tell us what Hodgkin's, like in a sentence or two, what Hodgkin's to a layman, what Hodgkin's lymphoma cancer is and what the symptoms were for you?
Well, first, what non-hodgkin lymphoma is basically normally can affect your bones or it be in your blood. And for me, I actually had a moment from God. Just one day, you know, out of nowhere, just God giving me the sense that something was wrong. And I just woke up one day and just said, you know, hey, Dad, you think I'm going to die? And he's like, what? I said, I don't know, Dad, but I got this feeling I'm about to die. And he was like, oh, no, that's just the devil. And I feel like maybe within the next 6 months, that's when the symptoms started to show. At first, I was very weak. Couldn't stand up too long. Then I started getting these headaches, you know, that was just excruciating. I couldn't even, I mean, I was popping Advil, you know, Excedrin, Tylenol, and I was only getting like 5 minutes maybe relief. And we was going to the doctors, and, you know, they kept saying, we don't see anything, we don't know what's going on. And then out of nowhere, this huge lump grew on the right side of my neck. And we went back to the doctors. And then they was like, oh, it could be an infection. We really don't see nothing. And it wasn't until like it was like around June 20th, we went to the hospital because the night before I was like, Mommy, I'm going to die. I'm not going to make it. And she was like, oh, no, you're going to be fine. Can you stop saying that? I'm like, Mom, just say I love you because I'm going to die. And she was like, oh, my goodness, fine. And then that morning, you know, God told me to just tell her I can't move. And I was like, okay, God, but I don't think she's going to believe that. And God was like, no, she's going to believe it. And she told me she believed it because I was pale. I looked like I was dead. And when we got to the hospital, the doctor told me I have end-stage 4 lymphoma cancer and I'm going to die in 2 days. And that was it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So what was going on when the doctor gave the diagnosis? Were you there or your mom came to tell you?
No, I was actually there. She was in the hospital room because I had went to sleep by that time because they gave me pain medicine. So when I woke up, she was actually in the hospital room bed next to me. And I was like, okay, this is weird. Why is she in the hospital bed and I'm the one that was sick? And the doctor came and told us. And I mean, we were both in shock because we was like, okay, that's, because we didn't understand. We're like, we're going to these doctors and everybody's saying, I'm fine. And now you're telling me I'm at the end of stage 4. And it's only 4 stages of lymphoma you can get. So they felt it was not even, no need to even work on me. They thought it was pointless. They really thought it was no need.
But from what you said, I can tell that your faith was already strong then, because back then you could even hear the voice of God and everything.
Right.
So your faith was strong. But so when you heard what the doctor said, what was going on in your mind?
Oh my God. You know what was going, one thing I was like, okay, how did this happen? Like, what did I do? I think when you go from shock, the first thing you go through is like, okay, what did I do to deserve this? And I had that moment with my mom and my grandmother, like, okay, what did I do? What is going on? I'm just going to die? Like that, you know, and then the fact that they didn't even want to work with me, I was like, okay, I'm not going to survive this. And I think the crazy thing for me is I was a Lifetime movie fan. And me and my mother loved Lifetime movies. And the 3 Lifetime movies we saw that talked about cancer, all of them died. So I didn't really have a survival story. So for me, to be honest, I was like, okay, I'm going to be one of those stories. You know, at first, that's exactly what I felt at first.
Wow. So how did you recover? Because like I want you to tell how you recover. So hopefully if somebody's going through this, they can get strength from how you recovered. And because the treatment, you didn't just go through the treatment one day and it was over.
Oh,
it was a journey. So how did you pick yourself up from like your own death sentence to, okay, I'm going to beat this? How did you pick yourself up?
Well, one, I had a lot of radiation. They had to do so much because the lump was so big, and they said the best thing to do was to take the lump away, as they said it. And when they did that, then I had a lot of chemo. I was in Georgetown for a year, and that's when I had my first neck surgery. And that's when, after a while, they was like, you know, look, we fought it a year. We didn't want to do it anyway, but we did it because your mama, you know, was making us do it because she was threatening to sue if they didn't. And they was like, so we just going to send you to University of Maryland Hospital so you can die more comfortable over there. That's exactly what the doctors told us.
Wow.
And but what people don't understand is sometimes when we think something is not right, God has a bigger and better plan.
Yes.
And that was such a better plan. And I mean, to me, that was the best decision they did for me. Because sending me there to University of Maryland, I met one of the best cancer doctors in the world, Dr. Edward Sarsfield. And he was up straight with us. He was like, look, I think you're going to die, but with God's help, I'm going to do everything I can to save your life. So I had a lot of more chemo, and then I also had another neck surgery that ended up making my neck don't look what we call in this world normal. But it was at one point that my neck was actually down so low that my chin was actually touching my chest. And I went through that journey for like almost 3 years, and I just had a moment with God, and it was like, God, you can't take me because my mom and my brother need me. If you take me, what's going to happen to them? And I was blessed that God heard me and saw that I wasn't selfish and I didn't think about other people. I just thought about other people, not myself. And I could have just prayed for myself because I wanted to be married and have a child, but I thought about somebody else. And my strong belief is the fact that I thought about somebody else is what God was like, this woman is not selfish. She deserves, I have a plan for her. And my cancer was gone. And even though my cancer went away, I still went through a lot, to get to this point. I had to still do a lot of physical therapy. I still have moments where my neck will open up and get MRSA infections. And I almost died for that a couple of times, even though my cancer was gone. So it's a journey. It does not happen overnight. We're going to have a long fight, but we just have to stay strong and know that one of the things I was blessed with is a great support system during that time. My mother was so amazing. My dad, I had 2 of my grandmothers. And one of the things I tell people is my mother was the one that I think that should be really get all the glory because she was always believed I was going to make it. I feel like maybe God had that conversation with her because I was one of the ones that was planning my funeral, at one point. I was like, okay, I'm ready to go. I'm just going to plan it. But she was just such a great, but I just want people to know that this battle comes with scars. And it's okay to have weak moments. It's okay to cry. But just know that with God and a great support system, I believe we all can make it through it.
Amen. 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 So from what I just heard you say, you build strength from your mother's belief, your mother's faith, and you also wanted to fight this because you didn't want to leave a hole in your mother and your brother and your dad's heart. You didn't want to break their heart. So you said, okay, let me fight this so I don't break their heart.
Right.
Okay, that's good. Okay, that's good. So you've already told me how life has been after your survival, like you beating lymphoma cancer. So tell us more how life has really been after you, like, because some people, like a lot of people, just like you said, you may beat the cancer, but it will leave you with a lot of scars. Would you want to go deeper into that for us?
Yeah. One of the things. One of the scars that I have is I lost all my teeth because cancer and the chemo really and radiation did a lot of damage to them. So we had to take all my teeth out, and because of the way my neck is positioned, we did get the dentures, but because of the way my neck is positioned, I'm not able to wear my dentures at all, which is a thing that sometimes are depressing because I'm 34 years old with no teeth. And you know, some people, if they're not understanding, you get those people who say mean things to you. Another thing is, of course, the way my neck is positioned, and because of the cancer was like pretty much in my neck and spine, I suffer with a lot of pain every single day. I suffer with pain in my neck, my back, my head, my legs, my feet. If I sit up or stand up too long, I have the worst pain in my neck and my back. So I suffer with that a lot. I take pain medicine. You know, it's a struggle, you know, because you don't get to do a lot of things that a 34-year-old could do. And you have those moments, you know. And I have the moments where I'm like, okay, God, this is too much, you know, because especially when you see other survivors and they look perfectly normal, or they could perfectly do so many other things, and you're like, okay, God, why is this not happening? But even with all of my struggles and having days when okay, I can't move, you know, and can't do anything for myself, I still somehow, in the midst of all of that, have to find a way to say, okay, God, I might have this day when I can't move. But I have to remember it was worse. I might not be able to do what other people can do, but I gotta remember somebody's always worse off than me. And even with all these journeys, you know, and struggling and just finding out that I'm not even able to work and I want to work, you know, a lot of things like that do mess with your faith sometimes. But I try to stay prayed up for one. And I know that that's something that a lot of us struggle with when we go through all of this stuff. We can't figure out why. And with me, I try to say, have those questions, but then try to be a little bit understanding and know that it will get better. But yeah, I do have those days. I have good days, but even with my good days, it's still painful days because my pain never goes under a 5. It's always between a 5 and a 20. But it's a hard journey for me, you know, to know that even being an actress, which I'm sure we'll get into that, that's painful. But I try to keep going, you know, because if I completely give up, then I feel like God is not getting the glory that He wanted for saving my life.
Okay. So earlier on, I got the sense that your mom was your strong tower. She was the one you were feeding off of. And unfortunately, she went to be with the Lord. How were you still able to push on? Like you said, okay, more or less it was like, for my mom's sake, please, I'm going to fight for my mom's sake. And your strong tower is not there. How were you still able to keep pushing?
That is funny because I lost in 2016. And I sometimes I don't know. I have moments when I'm home by myself and I cry out to God, like, God, just bring her back. You know, just please, I just need her. I just need to hold her. But one of the things for me that helps me with the grieving process is sometimes dreams are very helpful. You know, and of course all the memories that we have. And I try to think of the ways that she was for me to keep going. One thing she always told me, Nikki, I could do more for you up there than I can from here. And don't get me wrong. At first I was upset with her, because that was my mom. That was my backbone. She was my number one support system. She was the only reason why, to be honest, I fought for my brother too. But it was more for her because of how she was as a person and how I always know I had her. And to know that now I have to live without her is a struggle. It's not easy. It's very hard. And but one of the things that I do is I always, when I have the moments where I cry out for her, I always find a way to calm myself because I can hear her voice calming me down. Like, Nikki, just watch your favorite show. I'm still here with you. But it's very hard to go without her. And in the beginning of my grief process, I did have that moment when I was like, okay, I'm ready to go now. Because that's what I asked God for, to keep me for her. And then when he took off, I thought, okay, I'm ready to go too. And you have one of those moments. But I keep remember that her strength and her courage and her faith is why I'm here today, along with God and Jesus. Because she was as a mom, I don't know what that was like for her. Because she went 3 years not knowing if she went home and took a shower, if she was going to get that phone call that I died.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was one strong woman. So I try to tap into that in my moments of weakness.
Wow. Like after all the things you're going through, you're dealing with pain yourself. Sometimes, like if you stand too long, your back and whatnot, and you have a YouTube channel where you're always trying to encourage people that there's nothing that should break you down. And must say I'm very impressed. God has blessed you with a lot. God has blessed Nicole with a lot of wisdom, where she's trying to bring other people up to do better and reach higher. And more or less, you're telling us that nothing should be an excuse why we don't give back.
Yeah. Because you know what, I was always brought up from a mom and a grandmother who always taught me, no matter what, be there for somebody. I was always told, never look down on somebody unless you giving them your hand and lift them up. So even in my weakness or even in my struggle, I always find a way to be a blessing to somebody else. Because somebody else might be in a worse state than you, and all they need is that encouraging word. So to be honest, my mom actually told me to do YouTube years ago. She actually told me to do reach out to Steve Harvey and Ellen DeGeneres and Oprah, and I was against it. I was like, no, because I didn't understand where she was coming from. I was like, no, because I don't want people to think I'm using my story to make it or to get, and make it in any of the entertainment business. I just wanted people to see me for who I am. And I wasn't understanding what she was saying. That's how sometimes Satan works. He lets you just only focus on the negative instead of focus more on the positive. And by the grace of God, not only when she passed away, God had blessed me with a friend named Madrell, and he actually was pressuring me more in a very good way. Like, tell your story, because so many people need to hear your story, because there's so many other people with cancer and they thinking that, okay, I'm gonna just give up because I'm not going to make it. But just to hear your story, it makes them want to fight. And I thought about that, and then I prayed on it, and I was like, okay, God, maybe they got a point. I'm gonna do it. And it ain't easy, because I have to inspire people. So, and sometimes when I feel like inspiring people, what they don't know is not only am I inspiring them, I'm actually inspiring myself too.
Yeah.
Which is such a blessing. Because there's sometimes I find myself ministering to people like, don't give up, keep going. And then I feel like, oh, wait a minute, I needed that too.
Yeah.
And people that's what people don't understand. Sometimes God will let you speak to other people to also give you a message.
Yeah.
And that's what's so blessed. And I went out on faith, knowing that, okay, there were going to be some people that were going to focus on my appearance, which I have got, Of course, I have got people to be like, ooh, stop, you look ugly. Why would you come on there looking like that? And I just deleted. because it's not for you. It's for the people that I'm going to touch. And by the grace of God, He allowed me to not only share my story with YouTube, but also share my story in the cancer groups. And just that feedback alone from them to all tell me, oh my God, I was just about to give up. But you just hearing your story, now I'm going to fight. Because how did you survive stage 4? Oh my God, okay, I'm going to make it now. Thank you. You just gave me so much hope. You just made me want to fight. And now I'm going to keep going. And I'm like, this is why God kept me alive. And the thing is, a lot of times, we are so caught up with only showing the good that we don't want to show the bad.
Truth.
We are
Truth.
so good.
Truth.
We so caught up in showing how we made it that we don't show how we had to struggle to make it. So I always thought that maybe God was like, okay, I'm going to let you be that person to show them. Oh, you might see me on stage, but just to know I had to do this to get there, because that's what people need to know that. Okay, I might stumble sometimes. I might have a weak moment, but at the end of the day, God is going to give me that strength and that inspiration and that motivation to keep going and keep making it.
Well said. Well said, Pastor Nicole.
When I got called to be the worship leader at church, she was like, about time. I was like, wait a minute, Mom, what are you trying to do? But she was like, now you got me trying to be a pastor too. But like, she was like, because when you speak, even people at church, they were like, man, when you speak, you just help me. And I'm like, really? And they're like, yeah, just to see you smile, just to hear your words and your story. And I'm like, well, look, it's God. God knows what He's doing.
Yes, it's God. We need to talk about your acting career, but before we switch over to your acting career, I want you maybe in a sentence or two to tell somebody who is out there, maybe it's not a health issue, maybe it's a marital issue, maybe it's a self-discovery issue, whatever it is, give that person hope to keep moving, because right now we're laughing. It's not like everything is perfect for either of us, but we're able to laugh regardless of what's going on in our lives. So I want you to be able to tell this person that whatever you are facing is not over. Give us maybe a sentence or two or three encouragement to keep going regardless of what the fight is.
It's something that she just said right there. The fact that right now I'm hurting really bad. My neck and back is excruciating. But to just be able to stand in that pain with God's help, knowing that this is going to help somebody, is what is the blessing. So no matter what you're going through in life, I want you to know that there is light at the end of the tunnel. The storm does not make it always. Just because we're going through something does not mean that's how our story is going to end. And one of the things that I love to say, our scars show us where we've been, but it does not dictate where we're going. So just because you're going through something right now does not mean it will not get better. You just got to hold on, keep the faith, one of the strong things about it that's so great, if you can find a way to keep going and keep moving and keep helping people in the midst of your storm, God sees that and He will bless you beyond measures. So just keep going, don't quit. Believe me, God sees it all, and there is a reward coming for everything you done been through.
Hallelujah! Hallelujah! Praise Lord!
Yes. You gotta give him that, because God just spoke to that right now. He just spoke it.
Okay. So you've acted in a number of TV shows. How did you get into the acting career? Tell us about your acting career, the story behind it.
That is crazy. I started acting when I was a little girl. And I was doing a lot of plays for a lady named Miss Lucille Price. And she told me and my mother, she was like, this is her calling. This is what God wants us to do. And I'm told to respect my elders. So when I got home, I said, Mom, why she said that? I don't want to do this. Because I did not want to act years ago. I just wanted to be a normal person in a normal government job, you know, sitting behind a desk. But God has a way of showing you where He wants you. And after my cancer went away, my mother, she was that support system. Was like, look, you ain't just gonna sit here and do nothing. You gonna start to live. So either you get back and writing, but you're gonna do something. So I wrote the play about my cancer journey. And the long story short, we went to audition people for it. And there was another guy who was auditioning for his movie. And he actually said, you know, why don't you come out audition for my movie? And it's just so crazy because I just, out of nowhere, I just blurted out. I was like, yeah, no, I'm too ugly now. I would never do it. He was like, no, you're
not
great.
ugly. I had to say that. You're not ugly.
Thank you. Yeah, and that's what he was like. No, you look good. You can do it.
Beautiful person.
Thank you so much. And and I auditioned for his movie, and I got the part, but I wasn't able to do it, and because we had to move here. And I just look at it. That was God's way of saying that's what He wants me. And then Reverend Melanie Best at my old church, she is the one who got me acting in her plays. And and I think the first play I did with her was maybe in 2010, Blessed and Highly Favored. And I loved it so much that I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to do this no matter what. I was like, okay, we're going to keep doing this. We're going to keep, and don't get me wrong, I had moments, again. Because I have been to auditions where people, again, this is, a lot of people don't tell when a show when you hear a no. They only show you when you hear a yes. So my journey is showing my no's and my yes. And until a lot of times I went to auditions and I done heard, oh, you're one of the best actors out there, but we can't put you on camera with the way you look like. I have heard
they
that.
They told you to your face.
To my face.
Oh.
And to my face. In front of people, mind you. Now, and I done heard this plenty of time. I'm like, how can you one brother tell me I'm this great actress, but then on the next brother saying because of what you look like, I can't give you this part. Like, I didn't actually look like this.
You were a strong woman.
Yeah.
You were a strong woman.
And again, it was also my mom, because there were times I came home crying to her, like, Mom, I'm not doing this no more. I quit. And she was like, no, Nikki, don't quit. Because God is going to give people that's going to give you that yes. Because they're not going to worry about what you look like. They're going to see your talent. And she encouraged me to keep going. And I ended up getting a part in TV One for My Woman, which was a great experience, especially when one of the directors would tell me how great I was. And I was like so scared. And I'm like, okay, this is my first time being on TV. It was very nervous for me. And then I started doing movies and doing a lot of plays. And I love acting. I really do. I love it. And don't get me wrong, there have been times when I almost died right after performing. I had those moments too. And I was like, okay, God, what are you saying right now? But I love it. I love to act because I get to forget about all of this and be that character that I just signed up for. So it's a blessing to act and perform.
Okay. But there's some TV shows you've been on. Can you name some of them for us?
I did the TV show for my woman. It was for TV One, and I love TV One. But I don't even have it. I did the Copycat Killers, which is crazy because I went and filmed it, and then end up when they had something happened, they had to refilm it. But I was in a hospital and couldn't do it. And I was so...
What was the last movie or play you acted in? Can you tell us about that?
Yes, I just did a play called Convicted a Christian. It's an amazing play. I played a demon of pride. Which is crazy because when I was a little girl, my mother took me to go see this play. And it was so good then. And I was like, Mommy, I want to be in this play. And she was like, you will one day. But you know, I think parents, they always encourage us. But so years went by, you don't think of it. And to know that I said that as a little girl, and now here today I'm actually in the play. It's such an amazing, and we did it in Durham, North Carolina. And it was so amazing. Sometimes what people don't understand, what makes the play great is not just us, but it's the audience as well. And the audience was so amazing. They were so engaged in everything that we did. And I mean, it was, to me, I think it was one of our best shows ever. Oh, yeah? So I really enjoyed performing it. And the play is basically based on two sisters. and how the Satan is actually tempting the bad sister to get to the good sister, to turn her. And it just shows how all of us demons do what we do to try to corrupt the bad sisters as much. And it just shows you how to end that she ended up going to God, which is so powerful. And I mean, this play is so amazing. I hope that everybody continues to come support it, because this play to me, it just has such a great message behind it. Such a great, and I have so much fun performing it. Yeah.
Okay. It looks like you have been having a lot of fun acting. Do you see how she was lighting up when she was talking about her acting?
Yeah, I love it. I'll be mad when I be on timeout. Because she just put me in timeout. I'm like, why you put, like, she just took a lot of my parts away. You know, because she was so concerned about my health, you know. And that's another thing, you know, doctors told me not to act. You know, because they were like, it's too dangerous for you. And like I said earlier, I get it, because like I said, I almost died twice after a show. But I feel like, you know, if I can, I want to keep going as much as I can, because
that is powerful.
Yeah.
So like you said, when you were a child, you said you wanted to be on that play, and it's happened. So I want you to speak something to existence right now. What is the TV show or movie you would want to be a part of? Speak it into existence right now, and we are going to claim it is going to happen. You're going to speak it into existence.
Addicted to that show. I'll be watching it so much. So I would love to be on Law and Order SVU, and I would love to have an interview with Oprah or Ellen DeGeneres and Steve Harvey, because I love, and it's crazy because I love what they do for the community, and I really believe that they will help bring my story out a lot more. But let me say this, and we talking about claiming, can we claim Fast and Furious too? Because somebody gonna get me in them fast cars, okay? I'm gonna figure it out. I want to be in that movie too. So Vin Diesel, if you see this, I want a part two. Yes.
Okay, I love your spirit. I love your spirit.
Yeah,
she's a beautiful person physically, and she's a beautiful person inside, and it looks like nothing can stop her, and that's what most of us need to get to.
Yeah.
But right now we're going to end this interview, but I want you, whatever comes into your heart, whatever comes to you, I want you to say something, leave something with us, whatever comes to you.
One of the things about my story that I think is so inspirational to so many people is the fact that I'm showing the real. I'm not just showing all the great days and all the good days. I'm showing the bad days as well. And what's so great about that is I'm letting you see that in spite of the bad days that I have, I'm finding strength to keep going no matter what. And a lot of times we might not have support system, and it might just be us. But we have to remember that in human form, we might be alone. But spiritually, we always have God and Jesus with us. They never leave our side, no matter what. And they always do that. So whatever it is you're going through, if you ever feel like quitting, giving up, if you can just take a moment to not just hear my story, but look at other people's stories too. Or find something that encouraged you. Because one of the things that encouraged me on my weakness moments is I love Mom and Sap, James Fortune, and Mary. So find something that encouraged you to keep going. Because I promise you, it will get better. It will get better.
Oh, thank you so much. Like you said, her spirituality, her faith in God, her support system, those are some of the things that helped her to keep going. Her love for her family, her love for people around her, they kept her moving. And even when her real support system, her mom, she went on to be with the Lord, she kept moving. Why? Because she knew that there was a purpose attached to her life. So we are also going to keep moving, because onward and upward we going. It's so, oh God, it's so, she's such a lovely person. Did you love her? Oh yeah.
Oh my God,
to God be the glory, to God be the glory. We're going onward and we're going upward.